Okay, we are live.
Hi, we're live. It's just typing in on the chat window. So, welcome everyone. We're Valerie and Mark. We're at my home. And thank you for joining our live stream today. What are you doing?
I'm muting my laptop, or I
Oh,
was checking to see if we were actually
we
live.
are actually live. So here we are. So thanks for joining today. If you're just joining us for the first time, welcome. And we'd appreciate it if you click that follow button while you're here. So we are at my home. We do a lot of smart home and home tech videos and live streams here on Amazon. And today we're going to talk about the products from SwitchBot. Here they are.
That's not all of them either, by the way. These are the ones we have.
These are the ones
Right, the
we
ones we
have.
have.
So SwitchBot makes really easy to use smart home products, and they have, just about everything you might need to make your house smart.
I think so. It's pretty cool stuff.
It's,
Hey, did you mention about the follow? I think you did, right?
I think I did about the
Am I supposed to
follow.
put a screen up?
Yes. So, like I said, if you're just joining us today, welcome. Please be sure to follow us. And please, if you have any questions while we're going along today, go ahead and type them in on the chat. So, we have been on Amazon for a few years now. We do a lot of video reviews and we do live streams. So, if you're watching us today, you might see us in a little window that looks something like this. It depends. If you're watching us on your phone, if you're watching us on your computer. But if you see that little button there that says View My Storefront, if you click there,
Okay, you like to talk about the follow then?
well, I already talked about the follow. There's the
Oh,
follow, so make sure
okay.
you follow us. We appreciate that. That helps you find out the next time we're live. We do a live stream, and if you go to our storefront, you can see all the other content that we make here on Amazon. So if you look at our storefront page, you can see there's us. We're live on there,
Oh,
and
look at
we
that. That's cool.
we make a lot of different videos. We have idea lists for products that we recommend. And every time we do a live stream, we create an idea list so you can see the different products that we recommended. So we have one for today's
And so if I click on the idea
live.
list, there we go.
These are all the products that we're going to show you today during our live stream. So these are the products from SwitchBot. So there's a whole idea list. If we go too fast for you, if you come in the middle, you want to see what we talked about, you can always go back there to our storefront. And what's also really neat is that if you search in the little search window, and the secret about Amazon is you need to make sure you capitalize it. It's SwitchBot with a capital B.
Capital S and capital B.
Capital S, capital B. We've done a lot of individual videos on these products. So if you want to go into any of these in depth and spend a couple, 2 to 5 minutes learning more about that specific product, you can go and watch these videos. We've done a video on everything we're going to show you today, with the exception of the lock we haven't installed yet, and the Hub 2 because we just got it. It's brand new.
Very cool.
So that's
I think
cool.
we have a first look on them, but they don't have the details.
We have a first look on the lock. We like to do a first look when we get it so you can kind of see what we're going to do, and then we do a more in-depth review later. So that's at my home, and that's us. So we're going to go through today. We're going to talk about the different SwitchBot products and kind of move these out of the way when we talk about them in more detail. And when we talk about them, you'll see them in the carousel below. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the SwitchBot Hub 2.
The two.
The 2.
Two is cool.
And this is a brand new product, so we're really excited to be sharing it with you today. I think it just came out.
I think so. I think like in the last, I don't know,
Week,
this month,
maybe?
sometime this
I don't
month.
know.
I think
Soon.
it finally popped
Very
up on
recent.
the Amazon pages.
But we got to see it at CES this year in action. And what's really cool about this hub is it's new. It's really the kind of the engine to control all of your other SwitchBot devices in your home. And this one's really neat because it is supporting the new smart home standard called Matter. And if you're new to the smart home, you haven't heard about Matter yet. Matter is the future of the smart home, really. It's the goal is for all of these devices that you can buy are just going to work together magically out of the box. Now, say it's not quite there yet, but the great news about SwitchBot as a small company is that they're committing to Matter. So
And
they're
they said to us when we were at CS this year, they mentioned that.
yeah. So this is they're making a commitment to Matter, which is maybe it's going to make all these things work together a lot more easily, so you can use them with the Apple ecosystem, the Amazon ecosystem, the
And so
Google
forth.
ecosystem, and so forth. so forth. And this new SwitchBot hub, not only is it going to support Matter, it's beta right now, it has a lot of really cool features on its own.
So let me do this. I'm going to switch over to the screen. So first of all, hand me the.
Do you want me to move some of the stuff
just
out of
hand
the
me
way?
this here.
This is the Matter 2.
This is the Matter
Or this
2.
is the, well, this is a SwitchBot Hub 2.
Yes, SwitchBot Hub 2. So you can see it tells you the temperature and the humidity. And then I'm going to show you something on the thing when I switch over to the app itself. And then it has a button for off and on, and they're actually programmable, so you can actually change what they do. I haven't done anything like that because it seems simpler not to do that. On the back, you see it's got a place to plug in it's a micro USB connector, and it has a little foot. It wiggles in and out, so you can set it up, like this, or you can stick it to a wall. And then this little thing that's sticking out, that's the humidity and temperature sensor. So it's built into the cable. So you do need to use their cable if you want to have temperature and humidity. And this is what allows it, by the way, when you use it with Matter, to be seen by other ecosystems. This little guy here looks like an accessory to the hub here. So it's pretty neat in that regard. But let's take a look at...
It's a really cool upgrade, too, because this was their first hub. You can see it's just a box.
Yeah, if you selected that one, the mini, put the mini up there real quick.
This one? This is the older one.
So that's the mini, and this is the one they originally had. And it's really cool. It also plugs in with a micro USB cable. And what these hubs do is they bridge between these other devices, which are Bluetooth, to Wi-Fi, so that when you're not home, you can still control your home or be notified of things that happen in your home or whatever else. So that's what the thing is all about. What's kind of cool is I don't have the mini plugged in right now, but if I switch over to the app, let's see, do this correctly. You can
put
see.
us on there too?
Oh, I could put us on there too. I forgot I can do that. Yes, I have that capability. So if you look at this, you'll see some things are grayed out because I don't have them plugged in right now. But things like the Meter Plus, the contact sensor, the motion sensor, they're battery powered. They're actually working, and they're working through the hub too. But keep in mind, when we got these, I installed them all using the regular hub, the Hub Mini. But Hub 2 picked them up. I didn't have to go reinstall anything or anything like that. It just started working with it. So it's acting as its bridge. Which is
really nice because if you've ever migrated from one smart home hub to another, it's not usually that easy.
Yeah, usually no problem. So I'm going to go into the hub. So when you look at the app over here, this is their app. If I press on Hub 2, you'll notice it tells me the temperature, tells me the humidity, room light level, which is kind of cool. Now, why that's important is when we make scenes or routines, you can use room light as one of the triggers. So you got temperature, humidity, and room light. So you could say, like, if the lights are on in the room, don't do something, or if the lights are on in the room, do something. So it gives you an extra bit of control over your scenes is what happens when things occur. The other thing you'll see on the screen is it says IR appliances. Now this works for both the Mini as well as the Hub 2. And you can add a remote control. So I can just click on this button here, and you see it has a whole list of types of remote controls you might have. And then you just go in there, pick that. They have a lot of model numbers, so hopefully your model's there if you're going to use this for an IR control. If you don't, they also have a way of capturing your IR signals from your remote, so you can program it in here.
So this is really neat. So like say you have an air conditioner that's mounted up on your wall that has a remote to turn it on and off and change the speed and stuff like that. You can pair this to your SwitchBot hub, and then you can control it right from the app. So you don't have to use that remote, and you can maybe, have some automations in your house that turns on, which is pretty cool. So, there's a lot of old devices that have these IR remotes, and this works with a lot of different ones.
So the smart matching is cool. You can press that, and it'll try to match things up for you. You can select them manually, or you can do the learn, as I mentioned before. It can learn your remote. So that's kind of a neat feature. We're not using it because everything in our house, I think, is hooked up to our phone through some crazy app.
We don't have a lot of remotes like that anymore.
And then you see the buttons here, the two touch buttons on the bottom. You can add those in and do other things with the touch buttons.
Yeah, because there's buttons on the actual.
You can see them there if you look closely.
These little buttons.
Little circles in the bottom. It's kind of funny, though. They say on and off. I don't think the labels change when you do it. Okay, so that's how that looks. But now we mentioned about Matter, so this is kind of cool. So and we have the phone kind of on big text, so you can see it, so you don't see all the things. But if you look over here, it says Matter config, configure. And then if you saw the thing up completely spelled out, it says Matter config beta. That's because it's not ready for prime time yet. But what's cool is if you're anybody that's done anything with Matter yet, and we're all trying to get it working and trying it out and see how things are, and they're in various states of readiness. What happens in Matter is that when you take your device and you put it into your first hub, like for example into this hub here, it has a QR code on the box or wherever. And the thing is that once you've brought that Matter device in, then you have to come into that app and you have to say, oh, I want to use it elsewhere. And it gives you another code. So what you do is you get this little code that you see on the screen, and then you say copy code, and then you go over to your, let's say Alexa, or not Alexa, let's say HomeKit, right? Apple HomeKit. And you can punch this thing in here. And all you have to do is put this in pairing mode, which is pretty easy. You just press those two buttons in the bottom for 15 seconds. And then Apple HomeKit will see it. You enter this code that you've copied, so you don't have to type it in. And it should recognize the device and bring into the Apple HomeKit. And now you can see that temperature and humidity sensor in your HomeKit and see what it looks like. So we're going to be testing that out. And once we get through figuring it out and it gets stable and ready to rock and roll, when we do our review, we'll show you that version working with the Matter. So Anyway, that's enough on Matter, I think, because I think there's a lot more to cover today.
I think the important thing is that this is a pretty complete smart home ecosystem right now with all these different devices. We're just showing you the hub, which controls things, but there's a lot of different stuff, different cameras, different sensors you can use today. You don't need to worry about upgrading your whole universe to Matter.
Your universe?
Yeah, your whole smart home universe. But Matter is really, it is it's the future of the smart home. So we're really happy to see SwitchBot supporting it.
So I moved the thing over here so we can always keep track of the temperature in case it gets hot in here or something.
Well, we won't know.
We won't know, but we could have a trigger.
I guess you have to see
it right there. It's on
70
the screen.
degrees.
Yeah. So, okay, so these are done. So let's...
we talked about the hubs.
All right, now we're going to talk about that. So let's take these boxes out of here. And the other box. We've gone through both of those. And there's other parts in the boxes for mounting and stuff like that. So that's there. Oop. And then we're retiring this hub. Actually, I was thinking about this before we started the show, that it'd be kind of cool with this other hub is that if we need to have some other devices like as far reach of the house, I bet you I can plug this hub in and it'll act as a bridge there as well. So that's always handy to have,
We're not throwing it out.
It's going to be kept.
It's going to stay.
Okay, what's next?
We're going to talk about the SwitchBot Smart Lock.
Ooh. Am I getting rid of the box?
I don't know. This is the box. We're going to talk about the lock. So
this
here's
is
the lock.
Okay, well, here's the important thing, though.
What?
There's the lock, and if you have the thing selected with both.
Oh.
So go back to the both.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah, okay.
So you can buy this as a bundle.
You can buy as a bundle, which is what we have, right?
This is the lock mechanism, and this is the optional remote you can put outside. So you can either use your fingerprint to open it or use a code, a number code.
And we'll talk about that in a second. Okay, so I'm going to put this over here. And there's other parts in the box that for adapting and things like that. I'll mention that when we talk about the lock. And here's this guy here as well. He's a little mounting plate you can use to hook to your door. Okay, so
let's talk about the lock.
Talk about the lock.
Here's the lock.
Oh, I get to talk?
Well,
really?
Maybe I can show you.
No, that's okay. I can handle it.
So this is a SwitchBot Smart Lock. This is great if you don't want to replace your whole lock in your door. You can just put this right over
your the
knob.
knob on your bolt, right? This is meant for like a deadbolt, right?
Deadbolt
you got the whole handle.
Yeah.
And this little thing here, always time we do this, it's hard to see when they're all in black. But it basically just fits over like your fingers do, right? And this goes on there. And they have different sizes of these, so if it doesn't kind of fit yours, they have a wider one. And then basically the motor inside, when you say unlock my door, the motor turns just like you do. So it just turns that same handle. This is the handle that's inside the door. And the way it works is that, if you were on our show last week, we went over smart locks, that you have to disassemble your bolt lock and hook the whole thing up to the inside and the outside of the door. This one only hooks up inside, and it hooks up with tape. So there's that whoever's sticky tape. Someone's sticky tape. You stick it on the door with this little thing here over the the knob, the handle, and you just stick it on. It's actually ingenious. And then inside, of course, you've got the manual handle, so you can always unlock the door. And then inside,
There's some
a little
batteries.
cover.
Yeah.
There's batteries. These are what, 123 CR123A lithium batteries. So that's nice. Takes 4 of them. They come with it. Actually, came with it all installed. They got that little plastic thing you pull to activate
To make
it, right?
them work, yeah.
So it's really cool. And then this bracket here. Let me change. Do you think overhead might be better? Yeah, maybe it's better here. So on the overhead here, you can see the. Let me put us in there so you can keep an eye on us. It's like a bracket here. It's on both sides. This metal plate is on a bracket because you might have to be able to put this on the door, and maybe the knob sticks out a ways. Well, you can take this bracket and send it over closer to the door, and then it fits nicely. So that's kind of cool. And these screws on the side will let you make the adjustment. So I just want to mention that because it should fit every door, I would think. As long as you have a deadbolt and you have enough clearance between the deadbolt and the handle on the door, you should be able to put this on. So just keep that in mind. But that's it, just inside. And then you can use the app to open it up, and you're all set.
And you don't change anything on the outside of your lock you don't change anything on the outside of your lock. And you don't need to use this little pad unless you really want to. And so it's great if you're renting, you don't want to have to change out your lock, or maybe you just don't want to have to deal with all that mechanical stuff. Changing out your lock. You can just put this on and it stays inside. The outside looks exactly the same. And you've got a smart lock.
Okay, so next though.
And by the way, these look like they're on sale right now, 20% off. Pretty good deal.
Right, yeah. I always check to see those things, if there's any sales, always on the page. So if you guys want, remember, you can go right down to the page and click on that thing on your screen, and you can go over there and
put it right in your cart.
Put it right in your cart, and you're all set, and then pick it up. So if there's issues, any deals or whatever else, it's really the right time to go and put things in your cart when you can. All right, so what's next, though, is it has a button thing.
So this is the optional remote for the smart lock. So if you don't want to have to use the app to get in and out on your lock, you can use a code. It also uses a fingerprint reader.
I got it back on the main screen here. Let me stop our little.
Which works for Mark. It doesn't. Well, I don't know if this one's going to work for me. I have a problem with fingerprint readers. They don't like me.
She filed her fingerprints off, I think, in an earlier life.
But
it is. I mean, it does work well for me. I seem to have like really deep fingerprints. I guess I didn't get the memo when I was younger. But so yeah, you're right. It's got the fingerprint or the Valerie buttons. I call them the Valerie buttons because she has to use the buttons. Some of our locks.
Well, but it's really nice, and you can set codes up for visitors and things like that.
And it's just a battery powered, and there's a bracket in the box, and you stick it on the outside of the door, either on the wall next to it or on the door itself. And now you have a keypad to get in. So between the two of them, you don't have to worry about getting locked up.
Yep, so that's great. It's a really nice lock. It's pretty reasonably priced. It's on sale right now. Actually, the lock itself is on sale for 28% off.
Yeah, that's cool.
So it's a really nice lock. It works with the rest of the SwitchBot ecosystem, which we're going to keep showing you now. So if you're just joining us, thank you for joining. We are at my home, Valerie and Mark, and today we're talking about the SwitchBot ecosystem and the different SwitchBot products. So we already covered their hub. That's kind of the controller for the whole.
It's the bridge between Bluetooth devices and the outside world.
Yeah, so it helps you control all these devices when you're not home. And we just talked about their smart lock, and we're going to move on now to some of their different sensors.
Okay, so this one here, let's move them to the side because they do look cute, right? So I think it's cool to see them in the scene still. And this one is going to take some other activity. So I need to take this light over here.
We have our handy dandy light we use.
Our demo light.
Our demo light.
All right, let's see if I can do this without dropping it in here. Okay, so this will here, we'll put here. And I'm going to put this in here. Whoop, and it's on because you probably have the switch open. No, that's open. And slide it down. It's probably not closed. There you go. And this should shut off. So let me see if it's picked it up yet. Right now it says open. And you got to, oh, now it's closed. Oh, wait, you know what? Oh, we have to do something before this because I plugged it into the power strip.
You
but
can
it's
plug it
not
into the
smart.
switch bot.
I have to use this other guy over here, which is a smart plug that they have.
Yeah, you can't control
And
things with
I
them.
need
You're
the
getting
plug.
ahead of yourself.
It's funny when you get all these things like this. So anyway, plug this in here. This is a smart wall switch, wall
It's
plug,
a smart plug.
and I'll plug it in.
It's a SwitchBot smart plug.
And now what should happen is he'll come back up online. In fact, I'll show you here on the phone. You'll see the mini is there. You see it here? Boom. So I can press on the mini,
Oh.
and I can turn it off, right? So you turned it off, right?
I didn't do anything.
Why is your screen not working? Oh, I see. I'm pressing the off button on the thing. But I want to pull it up this way. Here, let's do this now here. And it's right now the switch is off, and I can turn it on. Now, what I can do is you can see it shows you the energy usage. And I'm going to turn it off so you don't have my face in the thing. It says how many kilowatts are being used, how long it's been on since we've used it, which is an hour and 59 minutes. But it shows you all the power usage and everything else. It even includes the history of the power usage. You can see how long we've had this thing. And I think that's really neat. It's keeping track of everything if you're done with it and so forth. But again, you can turn it on and you can turn it off. But what's really cool is you can turn on and off with this guy.
Oh, okay. So I brought back let me bring back, this is the
door sensor.
The door sensor. So this you put on your door, and there's
or
window, and it's got two little pieces. One goes on one side, one goes on the other.
Oh, look at that.
So this indicates that, imagine a door. Since they're apart, the door's open.
So you got it in the right spot, though. So whenever you do these sensors, you always have to make sure you know where the lineup is. And I think you're still showing this open.
What?
I know that because you didn't turn the light off.
Well,
so
where's the
slide it up more. Like right there.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah. Now it says closed. And what should happen when it closed, the light goes off. That's how I
Yep. So Mark programmed a little scene. So if the door opens, the light comes on. If the door closes, the light goes back off.
And you can see it here in the screen here. That's maybe a little bit easier to see. Go ahead and make it closed. Make it open.
Open.
And boom. Pretty fast, right? I mean, it works great. And closed. You got to get to the closed position. There you go. You got
it's
it?
Closed.
Perfect. Look at that. Wow, that's it.
So this is great sensor to use on your doors or windows. Maybe you want a light to come on when the door's open, or, and then if you've left the door open because the light's still on, things like that. You can have it do a lot of other different things in this SwitchBot app too.
Yeah, we're going to show that in a minute. Just keep in mind, when you install any of these kind of sensors, there is a spot where they have to be lined up. And they'll tell you in the directions how to do it. Usually there's a mark somewhere or whatever else. But just be careful of that, because if you install it and you have it stuck on the wrong spot, it's not going to show
it's important
correctly.
Well, this has a battery in it, right?
And that's battery
What
power.
kind of battery is it? Is it a...
I think it's a double A, but I'm not 100% positive. Hold on. Does it say?
Oh, it probably says on the box.
It doesn't say in the box. I don't know. Let me see. Hold on. I know how to tell.
Let me see.
You want to look? You can look to see what's at. In the meantime,
this is the box.
I'm going to go and find something here.
So you can do lots of other scenes with this same contact sensor. It's got some on here. There's also a SwitchBot curtain, which we haven't. The SwitchBot curtain's pretty cool, but we don't have curtains. So that's one of the...
We have a shower curtain. Maybe we could put it on the shower curtain.
I guess.
Hey, now look for something to do, So anyway, well, here, look. Why don't we just stop the mystery and... let's pull the bottom off, I guess. Let's see. This slides like
AAA battery, 2.
There we go. Look.
And it says that it lasts...
AAAs, 2 AAAs.
Typically lasts for 3 years. That's great.
Oh, good. No, I can't get it back together again.
And I never noticed this before. It says that, and that includes getting triggered 80 times by the door open, 80 times by door close, 40 times by button press, 40 times by light sensing, and 20 times by local scenes on a daily basis.
Wow. Well,
for 3 years.
Actually, it's
a
funny.
lot. That must be a pretty good battery life.
It's funny you say that, because, think about it. When people are, the battery lasts so long.
That's
but they
very
tell you
descriptive.
the test. They tell you exactly what their test was, right? Which is really important, right? Cool. So if you got the kids coming in and out of the house, now you can say to them, see how many times you've come in and out of the house? Did you ever get yelled at for that? You're like, stop coming in and out.
No, I got yelled at for not closing the door.
Oh, well, And now you got the capability.
Now you have the. Now we know if the door was open or closed.
So let's go back to the scene here, and back here. Put our pretty faces back up. So on here, there's a thing called scenes. And what you can do in the scenes is you can create scenes if you want. But here's the open and close. So this is the door closed, right? And I said when conditions are met, contact sensor, right, is closed. It's really hard to read it here. Then execute the following actions. SwitchBot plug mini 66 powered off. And that's why the light's off right now. Now, the other thing you can do is, if you look at door open, is you can do the same thing. Hey, if the sensor says I'm open, then power on the light. So if you open that up, and then what's going to happen is it's going to trigger the light, and on it comes, right? So that's all because of this routine here. And the cool thing is you can turn these routines on and off. So if you don't want to have them happening all the time, then you can do that. So that's cool. All right, now if you want to create one though, we can say plus. And we can say add a condition. And look at all the conditions you can have. You can have manual, scheduled, NFC trigger if you happen to have an NFC card. Arriving and leaving home, that's a beta thing. Well, those are always handy to have. If your phone leaves the house, you want something to happen. But here are the devices: the Plug Mini, the SwitchBot Plug Mini HomeKit, the Hub 2, which is right there, contact sensor, which I just showed you, the Meter Plus 2B SwitchBot. So that's going to be over here. This is this little guy right here under my right here. I'll show you in a minute. The motion sensor, which we haven't shown you yet. The pan and tilt camera, which is this guy right here, and the indoor camera, which is the small one over here, which is really kind of cool because you can do things off your cameras, which is really kind of neat. The actions you can do is all dependent on what you've got. And you can get a notification. If you want to just get a notification, you can do that. You can look at your devices. You can say, oh, I want to do things with the SwitchBot, correct me wrong here, the Plug Mini, which we just showed you, right? Turn it on or off. The SwitchBot Mini HomeKit, which is actually the plug we're going to talk about in a second as well. The pan and tilt camera, you can actually have it do things, which is pretty neat. And the indoor camera as well. So there's things you can do. In fact, what is it in the SwitchBot? Let's see. You can do motion detection, privacy recording, detect sound alarm, night vision. That's pretty cool. They have it set up features of the camera.
Yeah, there's a lot of really different. There's a lot of different actions and triggers. It's really
that you can go do. So it's really neat.
It's easy to use.
Let's see. Quit. Yes. Okay. So and then you can turn them on and off, so if you don't have to worry about getting things triggered when you don't want them triggered or whatever else. So that's the what is it called?
The door alarm.
It says the SwitchBot contact sensor. It's got other things in the page, but that's the sensor.
Well, so let's move on to the motion sensor. And
then there's the motion sensor. Okay, so this is pretty cool. You want to show that one? And let me switch back to our full screen.
Here it is. The SwitchBot motion sensor. It's a nice little motion sensor. It's got a little adjustable base, so you.
And by the way, that plugs on. That's an optional thing. You can pull it out. Don't do it though.
I'm not going to pull it off because it's hard to get it back on. But you can stick this somewhere. You can put the tilt it.
Does it make that noise? You're not. No one can see you because you're. I put this over us.
There it is.
It's got sound effects. You notice that? It's pretty cool.
What's this little button on?
That's a sync button. So when you install them, they all have a little button or something to let you notify the hub that you're installing them. So yeah, so it's pretty cool. And it's just like a lot of the sensors you see, it's got that little dome, right? And it
detects motion.
Detects your motion. And the cool thing is, let's go back to our little thing. And put this thing back up. And we can look at the motion sensor, and it says active since 4:30. What time is it? It's 4:30 because we've been waving it around in our face. So
it also has a brightness.
Yeah, so you can say ambient brightness here, right? So dim. It says it's not real bright, which is kind of interesting. So I can cover it up, and it'll probably change it to dark or whatever else. But again, these are all the things that the sensors can do. But I think the biggest thing is you can see it was active since 4:30. And I'm going to put this forward for now so that it gets inactive. And You can also see it's got a log, so you can see all the times I was playing with it again today.
Oh, turn bright, turn dim,
see,
motion
right?
detected, motion detected.
Yeah, so it's all there, all the things. Look at all the things. It keeps track of everything. You can't hide from it. But it says the duration of a few seconds active since 4:30. When the time rolls around, it won't be. But the nice thing about this is you can also, oh, there we go. No motion's been detected because I have it facing you all. And you see it says last motion detected was at 4:30. So it says 16:30, so it's military time.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of cool because then you can set up routines. And I think I've done some routines here. Motion on and off. So I think I can do this. I can turn these motion things on. And this one here, if I recall, let me make sure what I want to have to recall. Yes, it's the same one. It also uses the plug mini. So if you wave your hand in front of it, it should turn on the light.
Turn on the light.
It sensed motion. And we're going to let it go for a little. You can have a nice glow on my face. What's going to happen is when that sensor is not seeing motion, then what's going to happen is the other one, which is the door is closed.
Or no motion.
No motion. Sorry, no motion. Yeah, no motion. The top one there. It'll automatically shut off the light because it didn't sense any motion. You can set the timing on it and things of that nature. So it's pretty, it's pretty cool little sensor.
So you can put this, it's really small, so you can put it, it doesn't have to be super obvious. So, if somebody's moving around and they're not supposed to be there, or you want to know they're in there and you want to trigger something, maybe you can trigger the camera to start recording at the same time, turn on some lights, turn off some lights. There's a lot of stuff you can do with these little motion sensors. Yep. And they're, again, battery powered. Where's the little thing? Where's the box?
Oh, wait, the box over here.
Threw the box out already.
No, I just pushed it down. Here we go.
Let's see what kind of battery it takes. It's battery powered.
Yep. The light just went off because
the motion
I must have had it set for like 1 or 2 minutes.
This also uses 2 AAA batteries. And again, it says it typically lasts for 3 years. And a lot of different 120 times motion, 40 times light, 20 times local scenes, under 77 degrees Fahrenheit. So
that's cool.
And it's got a maximum detection distance of 9 meters and a maximum range of, that's really 110 horizontally and 55 vertically.
What?
Degrees.
Degrees?
What does that mean?
A width. So how much you can see top to bottom. So if you put it on your shelf, what it can see.
It's a really cool little motion sensor.
Yeah.
Neat.
So there you go. So we've kind of gone through a bunch of stuff now, right?
So yeah, if you're just joining us, we're at my home, and today we're talking about SwitchBot smart home products. And we've covered a lot of different products so far. We just covered the motion sensor. And what are we moving on to now?
Well, we're going to talk about the 2 plugs for a second.
All right. So we already talked about, this is the plug you've been using, right?
Right. So I showed everyone, I showed you guys in the app, the fact that it keeps track of energy and everything else. So that's all really cool. Right?
And it comes in 1 packs or 4 packs.
Okay.
And then the next one we have is the one that's the HomeKit version.
So let's carefully slide the motion detector without it catching me. Okay. It caught motion because we moved it, right? So I'm going to take the light, and I don't think we need this anymore for the rest of our demos.
I don't know. We might need it.
We might. Well, I'm going to leave it over here, though, so it's out of my way.
Don't move it too far.
I'll leave it right over here near my computer. Leave it right there. Eventually the light will go off, but you guys can't see it. It's off camera. Okay, next one is this. Now, what's really interesting about this is it has, oops, wrong one, overhead. It has, it has that little code in there, and that's for you HomeKit users. That is the code. Get it right here. So you should write down that number if you want to pair up to our device. So this is the HomeKit version. So this one here has the code on it, and you can easily pair it into HomeKit. So if you want to use it, you pair it up with HomeKit, and it'll work with HomeKit. But the cool thing is, not only does it work with HomeKit, but you can also pair it with the SwitchBot app. So now this one here will work on both your HomeKit and here. So let me plug it in. Let's not talk about it anymore. I'm going to show you something here. So right now, if we look at, let's see if I got it on the overhead. I'm going to switch it to your phone. And let's see, SwitchBot Mini. The HomeKit, yeah, this is the HomeKit one. It also does energy. And the cool thing is I can turn it on and off. Matter of fact, I'm going to plug the lamp in. So I guess we
I told you needed the
left the
lamp.
lamp. I told you to leave the lamp there, didn't I? I guess I should have listened to you. Yeah, I'm in trouble already. All right, here we go. So the lamp is here. The lamp is on because I have it on. I'm going to turn it off. And there it is. It's off. So just like the other one, on, off, same thing from the app. But I think something really cool is I have other capabilities here. Where did I hide this thing? Let's see.
We have a lot of things in there.
I don't
In
remember what
Apple HomeKit.
which room I had put this thing in. I thought I had remembered it, but let's see. Is this one here?
So if you're just joining us, we're Valerie and Mark. We're at my home, and today we're talking about SwitchBot and their smart home products. If you have any questions, please feel free to type them in on the chat, and we'll do our best to answer them. And if you're new here, please click the follow button so you can find out the next time we do a live stream.
Yes, and I just can't remember where I put this thing here. Let's see. It's about favorites. Anyway, so yeah, keep talking.
Are you going to find it?
I'm going to look for it.
Anyway, so this is a SwitchBot smart plug that also works with Apple HomeKit, and it works in the SwitchBot app. So Mark just showed it working in the SwitchBot app. That's what's up on the screen right now.
Yep. You know, it's interesting.
It also comes in a 4-pack, which is a pretty good deal, and it is on sale today.
Well, I don't know why, but my HomeKit isn't on.
Oh,
so it's like no wonder it's not working.
That's a problem.
That would be a problem. So
you're not connected to the Wi-Fi.
Well, no, I know that I tried to turn it off. So I think what happens, I think I must have shut some.
Anyway, trust us, it works with Apple HomeKit too.
Trust us.
So if you're an Apple HomeKit person, you want to make sure that you buy this version of the SwitchBot smart plug. Or if you don't care and you just want a nice smart plug, you can just use the regular one.
Yeah, it's really interesting that that it's not working on my phone. Our HomeKit's down, which is kind of interesting. And the reason why probably is I've been kind of fussing with a lot of stuff in the house. Yeah. And the way it works, the HomeKit, you have to you have to have either an Apple TV or an iPad or other Apple devices that can act as a hub. And I think I've taken one of them offline that I should have taken offline. So we can move on.
We have lots of other things to talk about.
Okay, so we talked about that guy. So what else is next? Hold on.
The next one is the SwitchBot thermometer. What is it called? This one.
You tell me. This one here? Ooh, yeah, that's the plus. Here, just the box. Tells you all about it.
All right. So this is the thermometer and hygrometer plus. Bigger, now plus. So this is
let me take the picture so you can see it.
Temperature and humidity sensor. And you can use it with the SwitchBot app. And, we can do a smart humidifier. That's pretty smart.
We don't have the smart humidifier.
We don't have that.
We don't have one of those. So anyway, yeah, so it's showing you...
it shows you the temperature and the humidity, and you can also use it to trigger things based on the temperature and humidity. Which
is really nice. And that's kind of a cool thing. And it's notice there's no cables on it. It's another battery-powered device. So that's kind of cool.
That is battery-powered. It uses... Where is it? 2 AAA batteries again. The battery life on this is approximately 1 year because it's got a display. And it looks like it's happy. It says it's comfortable. It's got a little smiley face. Why don't you show it on the app, Mark? Forget about the HomeKit.
I got it working.
Well, good. Doesn't matter. Show it on the app.
What do you mean, on the app? Okay.
Yeah, the app. Because it's got some cool reporting and stuff, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah. This is really cool. So, it says no data currently. It's loading. All right. We'll let it load up. There we go. All right. Okay, so this is kind of cool because it gives you a chart of temperature and relative humidity, even a summary, and you can load more data. But you see it showing that for today, by the hour. In this case, let me put this back on. And then by the day, so you can see the fluctuation in temperature in the bonus room here by the day, or the week. Look at that, up and down, up and down. Must be like go to bed, temperature goes down. We got our thermostats; they lower temperature at night, and then they raise them up in the daytime. And then you can see by month, and buy the whole year. So we've had this since, looks like I've had it on since December of last year.
Yep. So this is great. So it's monitoring the temperature and the humidity. And, you can put this somewhere that you want to see it. You can also put this somewhere maybe you want to monitor to make sure it doesn't get too hot or too cold. Maybe you have a wine fridge or you're storing something and you want to make sure the temperature doesn't get out of whack. So you can put this somewhere else and monitor it within your home.
So that's pretty cool.
Pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
And you can use the SwitchBot app.
Yep.
You're still hooked on that HomeKit, aren't
I
you?
know it's driving me crazy.
Just don't worry about it.
I'm not gonna. So
Let it go.
So let it go. Yes, I think it's it. So, heard that.
All right, so now we're going to talk about the cameras, which are pretty cool.
Okay, so the cameras are cool. So this goes over here.
Yep.
Keep moving things around. In the box.
So what's really neat about these cameras, and I like compared to some other cameras that we've tested, because believe me, we've tested lots of cameras, is that they work with these other sensors and stuff. So maybe you have a camera hooked up and it has its own motion sensor in it, but you want it to record every time the door opens. So you can use this little door and window sensor, and you could trigger that camera to go off whenever the door opens.
Yeah, so it's kind of cool. It'll start recording. You can say, hey,
or a motion sensor. You could put this motion sensor in a completely different room, and when that motion sensor goes off, this camera could start recording.
And that's really cool.
Pretty neat.
And it's blinking green, which means it's almost back online. And we can take a look over here. Indoor camera SwitchBot. Let's see.
This one's not battery powered. Is that power powered?
What's it going to see in there? Because I know there's some recording. Hold on a second. Go. Okay, so the camera is live. Look. It's looking at you guys. See?
So it is a 1080p, so it's a HD camera. It's super lightweight. Hello.
Hello, everybody.
It's got a microphone and a speaker. It uses micro SD cards. You can use up to 128 gigabytes. That's a lot of storage in there.
You know, it's pretty good. I let it see our lights, and it doesn't blow it out. Look at that. It's kind of adjust to it. That's pretty nice.
That's really nice.
And then, of course, it shows you anything you've recorded in the past. I'm almost afraid to scroll through
human
there.
detected.
Yes, human detected. So it does have human detection. And so you can see all those things. You can bring up those videos. I'm not bringing it up because I don't know what was going on then. But, yeah, so you can record things with it and everything else. It does record in HD. Which is a 1080p, is that right?
1080p.
1080p HD. All right, so it's
and this is just an indoor camera.
Yep. So, and then you can play back things and so forth. So it's pretty nice. It's a little small, lightweight. Has a little foot here you can snap on. And if you don't want to use the foot, you can actually put the foot in the back as well. There's like a little spot for it there. It's kind of like a rubbery thing. It pushes in hard. I will show you, except the last time I did that, I think it flew across the room as I tried to take it apart. But it just hooks up with a micro USB cable. And it's got a sync button like all the rest of this stuff. And that's it. That's kind of that's the camera. It's pretty nice.
It's a really nice little lightweight indoor camera.
Yeah.
Super easy to use and works with the rest of the SwitchBot devices.
Okay, and then the cool one. Look at this. Dun, dun. I'm going to go see. Let's see what we're going to.
This is a Whoa, what was that?
It's
trying to break the lamp.
Trying to break the lamp. All right, let's go back here. And this is why I like to take things out of the scene, except I go put my hand on it. Okay, so what do we got here?
Now they call this a SwitchBot baby monitor. You can use this as a baby monitor. You can use it as a pet monitor. You can just use it as a camera.
So micro USB again.
Anything you want.
It has a little base. They give a little mounting thing that fits in here that you can mount to someplace if you want, and then snap the camera on. But it's in red right now because it's thinking. And then watch what happens when it gets thinking. So let me bring this over here. And it's not online yet, but it will come online eventually. But the really cool thing is this is a pan and tilt camera, which means...
And it's got 2K resolution.
2K, that's right.
Which is really nice.
That's not 4K, that's 2K resolution.
2K, well, it's nicer than 1080p.
Yep, it was nice.
So a really nice resolution. So if you are using it as a baby monitor or pet cam, you're going to get a really good picture of your baby or your pet.
And they both, by the way, have a microphone and a speaker. So it's not like, look, see, watch. Look, here he goes.
Hi.
You watching him? And he's going to go do his thing. Look at, he's spinning around because he's a pan and zoom, so he's getting himself set up. And then he's going to roll his eyes.
Pan and tilt.
Pan and tilt. Look at, so rolled his eyes. Yeah, winked at you. And he is alive now. So I can take this thing here and I can put them on screen and put us over there. And you can see, there it is. It's looking at you right now. But the cool thing of this camera is it has motion detection and it'll follow my hand because it's following motion.
Well, it'll follow the whatever
the motion is. Yeah, this happens to be my hand doing the motion. So it'll follow the motion and bring himself around. Let's see if we can get it to go here. So you gotta see my hand. And then he'll come around. See it? There he goes. Whoop. Come back. So it's really kind of cool, but the neat thing is you can bring up the pan and tilt. Let's see, where's the direction?
It's got human detection too, like the other
So
one.
I can move it myself by pressing these buttons on the screen. You can't see me pressing them, but, well, maybe you can see me pressing them. Let me lower it down.
And it's got the microphone speaker, so if you're using this
cool?
for your baby or your pet, you can talk to them, you can listen to them. It's pretty neat.
It's pretty nifty. Pretty nifty.
So this is a really nice camera, and it's great it's 2K, really nice high resolution. Right now it's on sale for 17% off, so that's a pretty good deal. And it has, like Mark said, it's got its own motion sensor that will track you and follow you and stuff, but you can also use it with these other different sensors in the SwitchBot ecosystem.
And you notice it just moved?
Yeah.
Because
It's
saw
looking
me.
for you.
But it also has what's called patrol points. Let me see if I can figure that out again, how that worked. But you can set these to patrol points up on it. And what will happen is, I think you're seeing it happening now, he'll kind of wander around throughout the day and look in different sections.
Well, he doesn't wander around.
Well, he
His
doesn't
camera moves. It's not going to get up and move. But this
know.
looks
Sure.
at it. He's going to stay here.
You sure? Okay. Yeah, so anyway, so it has that capability of setting these patrol points, and then you can see it kind of go around and everything else. And we'll put him away from us. He doesn't see us, and he'll go do his thing. So that's kind of cool. That's a pretty neat little guy.
It's a really nice camera. What's this last thing in the carousel? Is this a bundle?
Oh, yes, and they do make bundles. I put that in there because they do have bundles on Amazon, and you can find the bundle like this one here. I think is with the Mini, with the Plus. This guy here, and also the 2K camera, which is pretty cool.
Yep. So they have a lot of bundles and stuff. But this is the camera itself. All right. I think we covered everything, Mark.
I think everything's been covered.
All right. So
good
those are the SwitchBot devices. And we'll just go back and we'll do a quick little review here. So we've been talking about the SwitchBot smart home ecosystem. It's a whole line of smart home products you can use. So cameras, motion sensors, door and window sensors, temperature humidity sensor, smart lock. Did I miss anything?
I think you got them all.
Smart plugs.
We can go through them.
We'll go through them here. And then they're all controlled by the Hub Mini.
Or
the Hub
the
2.
Hub 2.
So this is the latest one.
And I'll tell you, I would get the Hub 2. I mean,
Yeah.
I think the Mini's great. It works fine. But it's probably less money. Let's see, is it?
Well, the Mini it's on
less
sale
money.
right now.
It's on sale, less money.
20% off.
But it's worth getting this one because it's being designed. It's been designed to be able to handle Matter, which is a feature capability. And it has this really nice looking display. I mean, it's nice because you can just lay it. Like I keep this in my office. And it's nice. I can tell what the temperature and humidity is in my office.
What's really nice about it
glance.
is that it's a smart home hub, so it's controlling all of these different devices, helping you be able to control them remotely. But it also has some extra features on it. So instead of just making a box, they put the temperature and the humidity on the screen. There's a couple smart buttons on the front. And it also controls IR remote devices, things like air conditioners and fans. You can also hook those up via the
Really,
SwitchBot app.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool. And it's, it will be working with Matter. It's starting to do that a little bit right now. It's in beta, but, it's great to buy this because not only do you get to control all these SwitchBot devices now, you get some future capabilities with Matter.
Right. Yeah. Now, on the Matter subject, we only know about what's going on here. We don't know what the Matter story is for the rest of the product line. Right. Just keep that in mind.
Right.
Okay. So,
So let's see.
Let's
so
go
we
through
talked
everything.
about that. We also talked about the SwitchBot Smart Lock, which is right here. Now this is the bundle. So this is a lock where basically you put this over your existing lock and then using the SwitchBot app or this little optional keypad, it turns the lock for you. So it locks and unlocks your door. So this is great If you are, if you don't want to change out your lock, maybe you're renting, you can just put this over your existing deadbolt inside. You don't change anything on the front, but then you can lock and unlock your door with the SwitchBot app.
Yeah, so it's kind of cool.
And this is the bundle with the lock and the remote. You could also just buy the lock separately, or you could buy the little keypad separately. So this allows you to
keypad
and fingerprint reader. So this allows you to open this up either using a number that you program or your fingerprint, which is pretty neat. And then we also talked about all the different SwitchBot sensors that we have here. So we have a door or window contact sensor. We have a motion sensor. That's right. Is that it?
That's it. Yeah,
motion
that's the motion sensor.
And we showed those working with the smart plug. I think I just turned something off.
Yeah, you turned on the other plug, but I don't have the light plugged in.
He doesn't have the light plugged in. We also talked about the SwitchBot smart plugs. Now there's two that we have here. We have one that is just works with the SwitchBot ecosystem, and it comes in a 1 or a 4-pack. And then there's also a version that works with HomeKit. So if you're an Apple HomeKit user and you want to be able to use smart plugs with Apple HomeKit, those are a great option as well. Also comes in a 4-pack. And I'm kind of cruising right along since we're getting to the end here. But if you have any questions about the SwitchBot products, please type them in on the chat. We'd be happy to answer them. There's also this SwitchBot temperature and humidity sensor. It's a standalone sensor with a display. This is pretty cool. And all these sensors here are battery operated and they have a long battery life. And then we talked about 2 different SwitchBot cameras for indoor use. This is the indoor camera, and this is the pan and tilt 2K camera, which you could use as a baby monitor or pet monitor.
Well, and that's nice because it is pan and tilt. But I have this thing automatically panning and tilting, but you can manually do it yourself, so it's really kind of cool.
All right.
All right. I'm going to unplug it.
Are you going to unplug it?
Well, hold on. Before you unplug it, though, one more time in the app. So here's the app, just to give an idea. So all these things are online, you can see, except for the indoor camera, because I don't have it plugged in, and the mini hub, because I don't have it plugged in. But see, they're all online doing their thing.
Yep.
So, okay. So unplug him. So he's out of the way. I think we covered everything.
I think we covered everything. So those are the SwitchBot devices. They're really easy to use. They've got a great little app. Works well. Of course, it also works with, I can't say that lady's name, the Amazon Echo. Also works with Google Home if you're a Google Home user. So it's got a lot of compatibility, works with their own app. They're really great products. They're simple to use and have long battery life and, good value.
Well, I think that's the thing. But what I think is really kind of cool is, we said that we actually did a video with all the things in it. And we called it the ecosystem, the buzzword ecosystem. But basically the point is, and I think you mentioned this at the beginning of the show, is this is everything you need to really start your smart home, right?
Mm-hmm.
You've got the motion and door and window sensor. You've got the humidity and temperature sensors you can put around the house. A couple of different types of cameras. One's for indoor that's facing one way. The other one that actually moves. You've got the fancy hub to pull them all together so it works outdoors. You've got the door lock to go with it. So you can automate your doors. You can have cameras laying around. You can use motion and door. You can
record things based on motion. You can, do different triggers when the doors open or close. There's a lot of capabilities with SwitchBot ecosystem.
So here was just as a reminder. You can go in here. And if you...
this is on our storefront. So if you click view our storefront, we actually have done videos on almost every one of these individual SwitchBot apps.
There's our storefront.
SwitchBot devices.
Then you type in SwitchBot and you can see all the devices, right? So that's kind of handy, if you want to go in and kind of get a little more in depth. That's, it's a short video to kind of give you a feel for what each of these things do.
Yeah.
Except for the lock, which we haven't finished yet.
Yeah. So, but we're going to get that.
You know why we haven't finished it? Because it's been cold and rainy here. I guess the rain, I shouldn't use rain as the excuse, but it's been cold and I just haven't wanted to go outside and stick the thing on the door. So, it's kind of being lazy there. But, and we think it's going to work really well. And we're excited about that. So I guess that's it.
That's it. That is SwitchBot. So, Is it time to wrap up?
I think it's 5 minutes to go. We can wrap it
I
up.
think
and
it's
we're
time
set.
to wrap up. So, thank you so much for joining. We're Valerie and Mark. We're at my home. If this is your first time watching, please click that follow button so you can find out the next time we do a live stream, and we really appreciate it. If you want to go ahead and buy any of these products today, please use that carousel link and put it in your shopping cart, and that helps us bring you more live streams.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you so much.